Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have another light video for you guys. I think we only have 4 first appearances, 2 honorable mentions, so only 6 titles on all to go through, but there's definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, beginning August 18th, 2023. First up from DC Comics, Harlequin Black White Redder number 2. This features the first team appearance of the Legion of Doominols. This is Barkseed, Bud, Lou, the Squiddler, the Kawarla, and Dexstar. Now, like we always say with these DC comics, it really depends on what DC does with these characters as to how important they're going to be in the future. If they bring these characters or these teams across other storylines, other story arcs, into some of the more mainstay title series, then that definitely gets a lot more eyes on these characters and definitely gives them a lot more potential going forward. But if they don't do that, and these characters just really stay in their title series, and they really don't go anywhere, they're probably not going to be all that important. Like we always say, you know, these DC comics are great spec bets. You're specking on whether or not DC can actually make these characters important in the future. So this one here is a good spec bet. Pick it up if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Death of VENOMVERSE number 2. This features the first appearance of Venom Boy, the first appearance of Chaos Engine, and the first team appearance of the Symbiote 6. Now, like we always say with any of the Venom titles, you know, Venom and Spider-Man, these titles have a huge fan base, huge collector base, so anytime they introduce a new character into any of these universe, these are definitely books you want to own in your collection. And this title here actually has 3 first appearances, so this is one we definitely think you should pick up and add to your collection. Next up from Marvel Comics, What If Dark Moon Knight number 1. This features the first appearance of Luminari, a female version of Moon Knight. Now, like we always say, it's typically worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel Comics, because Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media. And you know, Disney, with the Moon Knight streaming series, they could actually bring this character onto the small screen, get a lot more eyes on this character, and people will race back to the comics to try to find the first appearance. So this is one we do think you should pick up and add to your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally, from Marvel Comics, Uncanny Avengers Fall of X number 1. This features the first team appearance of the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. This also features the new Avengers Unity Squad roster. This is Captain America, Rogue, Deadpool, Quicksilver, Psylocke, and Monet. You know, like we just mentioned a moment ago, it's typically worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles. You know, if the characters go nowhere, you're out $3 or $4, but you know, Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media, so if these characters actually hit the small screen or big screen, you know, you're sitting on a winner for a couple dollars. People are definitely going to race back and try to find these first appearances, and these are books you definitely want to own at the cover price. You don't want to be chasing these down later on for a lot more money. So this one here is going to be a little more speculative than some of the other titles we mentioned, but it does have the first team appearance of this new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and you know, Marvel does have big plans for the X-Men going forward, so this one here may be important. Once again, it is a spec bet, but probably worth picking up. Grab it if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but keep an eye on it. And now for the honorable mentions. From IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate number 1. Now this comic is a tie-in to the Apple arcade game. You know, any comic book premiere issues that are related to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are definitely worth picking up and adding to your collection. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has a huge fan base, huge collector base, and a lot of premiere issues of these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series do trade for good margin in the secondary market. And this here is a tie-in to the Apple arcade game. We always recommend picking up these video game tie-in comics because, you know, they're typically undersold when they come out. A lot of retailers don't carry them, so they're typically understocked. So years later, there's a lot fewer of them on the market than some of these standard title issues. So this one here is one we do think you should pick up for a spec bet. Like I said, this is a tie-in to the Apple arcade game, and this is number 1 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate series. So this is one we do think you should pick up for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, Spider-Man number 11. The solicitation states that this is the reintroduction of Spider-Boy. You know, we all know how big of a hype Spider-Boy was when he was actually first introduced, and this here is the supposed reintroduction of Spider-Boy. So this one here could be important. It really all depends what they bring to this character. If they bring anything new to the Spider-Boy character, this one here may be worth owning. This is definitely going to be speculative, you know, because there's a lot of mania around the first appearance of Spider-Boy. So this one here, the reintroduction, may not be important. Like I said, it really depends on what they add to this character. If they bring something else to the story, if there's new information disclosed that we didn't already know, then this will be one worth owning. So this one here is probably worth a little bit more research before you pick it up, but it could be a good spec. Grab it if you can. If you can't, though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. So there you have the 6 titles we have for you guys this week. Super short video, but definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.